Welcome, wrestling fans, to this WWE show review on Tim Reynolds Show, as I'm reviewing the Friday Night SmackDown from November 22nd, 2024 in Salt Lake City, Utah. And this Friday Night SmackDown would be kicked off with Solo Sikoa and the New Bloodline coming out to the ring with their new fifth member of their Survivor Series War Games team, as Big Bronson Reed made his presence known on last week's Friday Night SmackDown when he left Roman Reigns and the OG Bloodline laid out in the middle of the ring and helping Solo Sikoa out and making a huge statement as he's joined Solo's team, as Solo would address the crowd in the WWE universe and demand that Roman Reigns come out to the ring to agree to his terms of surrender by the end of the night, as Roman Reigns has not made it into the arena yet, with Solo saying that his team is ready to dominate. But guess who's not ready? Roman Reigns' team, as they have yet to find a fifth member for their Survivor Series War Games team. What a way to kick off Friday Night SmackDown. Will Roman Reigns and the OG Bloodline actually agree to terms to Solo Sikoa's surrender and acknowledge him as their tribal chief? No way. But what's gonna happen? After not being able to get a hold of the wise man last week, Roman Reigns is kind of left without any options here. So what will happen later on in the night? Will Roman Reigns find a fifth member for his Survivor Series War Games team? We'll have to wait and see. But next up on Friday Night SmackDown, we'd see our first match of the evening, and this will be a women's triple threat match and also a match in the Women's United States Championship Tournament, as we would see Bianca Belair versus Blair Davenport versus Chelsea Green, and all three of these competitors would leave it all inside the squared circle, as we see Blair Davenport really showing off her athletic ability, but it would be Chelsea Green who really impressed in this matchup. But late in the match, it would be Bianca Belair who would have the advantage until we see on the video screen that her WWE Women's Tag Team partner Jade Cargill was attacked backstage by an unknown person as she was put through a windshield and on the hood of a car, laid out, not looking good, knocked out. And that's when Bianca Belair would get distracted and head towards the back to go check on her teammate, and Chelsea Green would take advantage of that as she pins Blair Davenport and wins the match to advance in the Women's United States Championship Tournament. What a big win for Chelsea Green in this matchup. And then later on after this, we would see Bianca Belair backstage in the parking lot near the ambulance trying to join her teammate, as Bayley and Naomi were also there with general manager Nick Aldis and a bunch of other officials trying to figure out what happened, as Jade needed to go to the hospital and Bianca would join her. Man, I hope Jade's okay, but who attacked her? We'll have to see if we find out by the end of the night. It's because it's Survivor Series War Games is just a week away and we don't know what happened here with this one. And then next up here, guys, after this, we would see our second match of the evening, as we would have Santos Escobar going one-on-one with LA Knight, as the United States Championship would be on the line. And after last week, when Shinsuke Nakamura showed up to attack LA Knight out of nowhere after he defended his title in an open challenge, we would see Shinsuke kick off this match as well with a creepy video message, as he would say that he's been watching LA Knight for a while and he knows about his upbringing and how long it's took him to get to where he's at in the WWE today, but that those insecurities and the fact that he relies on the crowd to give him sort of a value, to give him sort of a true feeling of he belongs, will be his downfall, as Shinsuke looks at LA Knight as his next victim. And we are seeing a side of Shinsuke Nakamura, a dark side that we have never seen before. And in this matchup, we would see a very competitive United States Championship match, but it would be LA Knight who would come up with the victory after Santos Escobar was not able to take advantage of multiple opportunities, including attacking LA Knight at the beginning of the match when the video screen came on for Shinsuke, and also at the very end of the match when Shinsuke Nakamura would come out near the ring out there on the stage backstage, distracting LA Knight, and Santos Escobar hits a frog splash but doesn't capitalize right away as we see LA Knight hit a blunt force trauma, a BFT out of nowhere to get the victory, but Shinsuke's the one who ends up with the final word as he attacks LA Knight in the middle of the ring and makes a huge statement that he's coming for LA Knight. Man, what a Friday Night SmackDown that we see here, guys. After that, as coming up next, we would then see backstage as Johnny Gargano was talking to the WWE Champions Motor City Machine Guns after what happened last week when Tommaso Ciampa came and attacked not only the Street Profits but also Motor City Machine Guns, costing the Street Profits their chance at the WWE Tag Team titles. And Motor City Machine Guns would not be happy about this, but Johnny's trying to explain things as Johnny Wrestling does, but unfortunately Motor City Machine Guns did not agree with what Johnny was saying, as Johnny thought, hey, let's go talk to General Manager Nick Aldis and get a title match between us, DIY, and you guys, and that should help out Ciampa with what he's dealing with. He's just very emotional and going a little crazy right now after he attacked them. But Motor City Machine Guns does not agree with Johnny, and they think that the Street Profits are the one who deserve a title shot. And speaking of the Street Profits, they would walk up after hearing this conversation and have their own input, saying that you can't trust your partner and you don't even know what you're talking about, because all we see is that your partner is a snake in the grass. But hey, watch your back, man. And Montez Ford would say he's going to handle business against Ciampa later on that night as those two go one-on-one in a big matchup on Friday Night SmackDown, as we see the tag team division for the men's superstars really heating up, especially on Friday Night SmackDown. And then next up after this, guys, on Friday Night SmackDown, we would have the OG Bloodline as Roman Reigns finally shows up to the arena. And man, it would only be the four of them, so who is going to be the fifth member? We'll have to wait to see to find out what Roman Reigns does. And then next up, we would see General Manager Nick Aldis talking to Nia Jax, the women's WWE champion, backstage, and asking her if she knew who attacked Jade Cargill in the back near the parking lot, as she's a part of Liv Morgan's team for War Games coming up, so of course she's a suspect. But Nia Jax would balk at the idea that Nick Aldis would think that she had something to do with it, saying she's been trying to help Tiffany and Candice LeRae get ready for their matchup all night long here on SmackDown. Then next up, we'd see General Manager Nick Aldis walk away from that conversation and track down Cody Rhodes, the undisputed WWE champion, as the American Nightmare was getting ready to go out to the ring in the arena to call out Kevin Owens. But that's when General Manager Nick Aldis would say he hasn't seen KO all night long and doesn't think he's here. But Cody's not going to trust that. He knows that's a lie and that Kevin Owens is here in the arena, and he goes out to the ring as the American Nightmare, an undisputed WWE champion, would call out Kevin Owens, and it would not be long before KO would come out through the crowd talking to Cody Rhodes about everything that's happened up to this point and why he did what he did to Randy Orton, delivering that illegal move, that pile driver that injured the neck of Randy Orton, as Cody Rhodes would not want to back down from the comments made by Kevin Owens, who would say that it's all Cody Rhodes' fault, that it's his fault why Randy got hurt, that it's his fault why he's in the predicament that he's in, because Kevin Owens fought the Bloodline for 4 long years, and Roman Reigns was the one who tried to end his career and take everything from him, and Cody Rhodes went and teamed with him and betrayed Kevin Owens after Owens has been there since day one when Cody Rhodes got back into the WWE. Kevin Owens was also there at WrestleMania 39, helping Cody Rhodes try to finish his story. And after he finishes his story, he's going to head and stab Kevin Owens in the back, and Kevin Owens didn't think so, and that's why he blames Cody Rhodes. And that's when Cody Rhodes would clap back, calling him out and saying that his actions, if he wants to put the blame on him for those, you can go ahead and do that, but his actions have consequences, and he needs to be held responsible for crossing the line like he did against Randy Orton, who was supposed to be his friend. friend. And that's when we would see Kevin Owens come right back and saying he ain't got to worry about him pulling any punches or anything like that, because in the next time that they meet on Kevin Owens' terms, then he won't make sure that he will be willing to cross that line, because he said he loved Randy Orton and look what he did to him. So what he's going to do to Kevin Owens or to Cody Rhodes, I'm not sure, but Kevin Owens says he hates Cody Rhodes and he's willing to cross that line and go where he needs to, as Cody Rhodes is looking for a fight, but Kevin Owens isn't going to fight tonight. But when will we see these two go up against each other? Well, I'm not sure. Maybe Survivor Series War Games, but this is all building up. But Cody Rhodes would make sure he says at the end that it would be Kevin Owens who has been holding Kevin Owens back, that he's been his biggest critic, and he's not the one that he hates. He doesn't hate Cody Rhodes. He hates himself. And that's the reason why he can't get it done, just like he couldn't get it done at Bash at Berlin. And these two are heated and headed for a huge fight, as this was an awesome moment here on Friday Night SmackDown. And then next up after this, guys, we would see backstage as Roman Reigns and the OG Bloodline had a meeting of words of sorts to try to get things together to figure out what they're going to do, with Jey Uso suggesting that Roman Reigns try to ask Seth Rollins to get involved, and he would say, nah, that's in my past, man, I can't do that. And that's when we would see Sammy would be the one to suggest Seth Rollins, and it would be Jay that suggested Cody Rhodes to come help them, but Rhodes is in the past. Rhodes he's done handling with, Rollins is in the past, and because of that, they have to go ahead and handle it all together. As Roman says, we can all do it. We will all do it, and if we die together as a family. And they all agreed to that, but what does that mean going forward? As Sammy asked what the plan was, and Roman would say, I don't know. And then next up after this, guys, we would see the women's WWE tag team match, as we would have Bayley and Naomi teaming up versus the team of Tiffany Stratton and Candice LeRae. But Nia Jax, the WWE Women's Champion, would be at ringside, and it would not be long before we would see her get involved in this matchup, causing disqualification after an epic back and forth between these two women's teams. And then, as they beat down both Naomi and Bayley, we would see Io Sky come out to aid both Bayley and Naomi is part of the Survivor Series War Games team for Rhea Ripley, and Io would come out to lend a hand, but the numbers games would get caught up with them, as then we would see Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez come out to aid their team members, beating down all the women inside the ring, before we see Rhea Ripley come out with the kendo stick to even the score and beat down all the members of Team Liv Morgan and make a huge statement, helping all of her members of her team except one. And two were not there, as Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill were not out there, but Rhea Ripley comes to the aid of the teammates and Bayley out into the ring. The next up after this, guys, we'd have our next match of the evening, as we would see Montez Ford of the Street Profits go one-on-one with Tommaso Ciampa, the half of DIY. And we would have a really epic back and forth matchup in this one, but Ford would actually get the victory in this one in surprising fashion, as Ciampa was able to hit a big knee on Montez Ford, who was jumping off of the top turnbuckle, and as he came down and delivered a huge knee to the face of Ford, we would see Ford roll up Ciampa out of nowhere and get the pinfall and get the victory. But then Ciampa would attack Montez Ford after the match, and then we would see Dawkins come out to help his tag team teammate, beating up Ciampa, before Johnny Wrestling also came out to try to help out his tag team partner and sort of get some peace going between these two teams. But that's when Ciampa would attack Montez Ford and Dawkins once again, beating them down in the ring, with Johnny trying to get his teammate to relax and stop doing this. But it would be Motor City Machine Guns, the WWE Tag Team Champions, who would come out to stop the beating and really challenge Ciampa. And we would see Ciampa very upset, as Johnny would be helped up by Motor City Machine Guns after Tommaso knocked his teammate down, yelling as he's leaving the ring, "Whose team are you on? Who are you loyal to?" Man, what a crazy situation situation going on in the tag team division here on Friday Night SmackDown. Then next up after this, guys, we would have Solo Sikoa and the New Bloodline come out to the ring to see if Roman Reigns will agree to terms to his surrender, and the OG Bloodline would have to acknowledge him as their tribal chief. But Roman Reigns would come out to the ring just as Solo Sikoa went to go talk into the mic as their team comes face to face with Solo's team, the New Bloodline, and Big Bronson Reed as the Four Usos, Roman Reigns, Jimmy and Jey Uso, and Sami Uso face off against this team as they are outnumbered. And now what's going to happen, as it looks like Roman Reigns is ready to say something to Solo before Solo speaks first. And he says, I have love for all of y'all. Roman, believe it or not, I still love you, man, but if you guys do not agree to surrender, then I will have to destroy all of you where you stand, saying that all of them could join his team, be a part of his new bloodline, and run this company for decades. But with that ultimatum, what will Roman Reigns Survivor Series War Games team do? Well, we would see the return of the wise man, Paul Heyman, and he didn't come alone, as Wise Man would have the microphone and say, my name is Paul Heyman. And ladies and gentlemen, I think my math is still good. Even though I was put through a table at Madison Square Garden, I can tell you that we cannot have Survivor Series War Games without a 5-on-5. It can't be 4-on-5, and it won't be. It will be 5-on-5. As CM Punk comes out to the ring to be the 5th member of Roman Reigns' Survivor Series War Game teams, as he jumps into the ring and helps beat down Solo Sikoa and Big Bronson Reed and the New Bloodline, as we see a huge statement made from Roman Reigns, main event Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, and Sami Zayn, along with CM Punk now as their 5th member, as they all stand inside the ring after beating down the New Bloodline, Bronson Reed and Solo Sikoa. We would see CM Punk and Roman Reigns stare each other down, and it looks like Roman mouths the words, I don't trust you, but CM Punk would say, you don't need to. I'm here for Paul Heyman. And guys, what a Friday Night SmackDown, as we now know who the teams will be at the next WWE Premium Live Event Survivor Series War Games, as it will be the OG Bloodline with their 5th member CM Punk taking on Solo Sikoa, and the New Bloodline with their 5th member Bronson Reed. What an epic Premium Live Event this is going to be coming up in a week. But guys, this has been your WWE show review from Tim Reynolds Show for this Friday Night SmackDown. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel, and thank you guys so much for watching Tim Reynolds Show, the sports entertainment channel here on YouTube. And I'm loving being able to bring these WWE show reviews to you guys, talking about what happened and all the big storylines happening in the WWE right now. So make sure you guys hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you guys think of what's happening in the WWE right now. And also let me know what you think about the upcoming Premium Live Event Survivor Series War Games. Please, I'd love to hear your guys' comments and feedback. Thank you so much for hanging out here and watching Tim Reynolds Show's WWE show review. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel and hit me up. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all the support. Thank you, WWE Universe. Thank you, wrestling fans and everybody, for helping support Tim Reynolds Show. Peace out, everybody.